I'm Charlton Heston. I'm particularly glad to welcome you to this program about the miracles of Jesus. When we think of these miracles, we often think of them as supernatural acts. The instantaneous healing of the blind, or the transformation of a small amount of food into a feast for thousands. Those incidents make up an important part of the New Testament. And they're compelling, there's no doubt about that. But they don't tell the whole story. The story of Jesus' ministry is engaging for Christians and non-Christians alike because it depicts someone who, as Ralph Waldo Emerson once wrote, felt that man's life was a miracle. Again and again in the Gospels, Jesus emphasizes his concern for all individuals, regardless of their position in life. In the process, he also maintains his own humility. Take, for example, his comment in the Gospel according to Mark. "Why do you call me great?" he asks. "There is none great but God." That is a remarkable statement when you consider that Jesus has come to be regarded by millions as the greatest man who ever lived. Indeed, over the last 2,000 years, more ink and blood have been spilled over this man than over any other human being in history. Nevertheless, throughout the Gospels, Jesus repeatedly points away from himself and towards the Almighty, just as Moses and all the great prophets had done before him. This story, as it's told here, begins with John the Baptist urging anyone who will listen to prepare ye the way of the Lord. John does his part by touring the countryside and baptizing men and women who've acknowledged their own sins. He also gives us a taste of Jesus' message. John's pronouncements lead some people to believe that it is he who's the Messiah. John knows better, of course. He too is a man of deep humility. So much so that when Jesus asks to be baptized, John protests, "Surely I am not fit to baptize you." He says, "You should baptize me." In the end, Jesus gently persuades John to do as he says. And immediately, as Jesus rises from the water, a bright light in the form of a dove appears over his head. It's one of many signs that will convince witnesses that Jesus is no ordinary man. But for the most part, as Jesus travels throughout the Holy Land and encounters small groups of people, he will need no miraculous signs to prove that he is special. He will do that simply with his words. In many cases, Jesus speaks in parables, stories that use symbols to convey a moral message. One such story is the parable of the seeds, which symbolize the potential within all of us. Seeds that are planted in good soil, he says, are like people who embrace the truth. Inevitably, they will flourish. The message of Jesus becomes so powerful that crowds follow him wherever he goes and plead for him to offer instruction or to use his healing powers on sick friends and relatives. The power of his message doesn't inspire everyone, of course. In time, the ruling priests will come to fear him and will find a way to put him to death. But that's a story for another program. For now, let's get ready to journey back in time to the ancient Holy Land, where a young carpenter from Nazareth is preparing to answer his true calling. Your guides on this journey will be my friend Simon and his camel, named Gimel. I hope you enjoy the experience. I'll see you next time.
We're in Galilee during the Roman occupation. Times are tough, taxes are high, people are poor, and there's not much hope.
Help the hungry, help the hungry.
Many long for the coming of the Messiah, as promised in prophecy. The people hoped the Messiah would make them free from Roman oppression.
Out of the way! What are you looking at?
One day, the Messiah will come and change all this. I know it in my heart.
Men like Matthew, desperate for work, signed up as tax collectors for Rome.
Next. Ah, Simon Peter, come to pay your back taxes? No, it's nothing personal. I'm just doing my job, friend.
You're no friend of mine, you blood-sucking leech.
No need for